everybody, my name is Senator Eileen Flynn and I'm a traveller woman here to speak to you all today.
Could I call on Senator Eileen Flynn?
Over 30 years, Travellers has fought to be around the political table, and it's brilliant now that there's finally a voice in the Humanitarian for a member of the traveller community, but also that unique voice, a voice in the Shannon for those at the very end of Irish society. I'm the first traveller to ever be in the House of the Oireachtas, the Dáil or the Shannon. Now, I'm a senator, which means I'm in the Shannon, and my role is to implement legislation and to educate people, and to educate especially our future, our young people around the traveller community, but also around being, you know, nice to each other and to learn from each other. So I look very forward to being that voice for those at the end of society. Being a traveller is that you come from an ethnic minority group. We speak our own language. A lot of traveller people are very religious, a very close-knit community, and the value of family and traditions that's built up over hundreds of years. I grew up in a halting site in Ballyfermot. Always been outside in the hail, rain and snow. Didn't have much technology growing up as a child. And, you know, looking back at that now, it was a lovely way of life. And even still today, living on a halting site brings that sense of freedom to children where, you know, they're always out playing, always out kind of communicating with each other. A lot of people hear bad stories about travellers, and sometimes we can get caught up in the negative stuff, but there's more positive stories about the traveller community. And when I talk about the positive, like when I hung around with 14 settled children in Ballyfermot, going back as a young woman myself, you know, we had more in common. There were more that brought us together than what separated us. I think it's about really getting to know individuals within your classrooms, within your community, because not every single traveller is a bad person, you know, because there's an awful lot of good people within the traveller community. Like, I have a little girl, Billy, and she's 16 months, and I hope that she'll go on to school in Donegal and make friends from all communities. And, you know, again, it comes right back to not judging each other, and to make friends with people who are not from your community. I lost my mother at 10 years of age, and 9 days after my mother died, I was in a really bad car crash. I was in Our Lady's Hospital for a number of months, and, you know, you're not okay when you lose, especially your mother or your father. And I think for young people, there's always somebody to speak to, let that be an uncle, an auntie, and a younger brother or sister, older. And it's important that we talk about how we feel, you know. And for me, I was never ashamed in speaking how I felt after I lost my mother. And still now, after 21 years, I still think about her every day. And when I was 11, I would have got counselling. And again, I don't think it's any harm for young people if you're, you know, sometimes if you feel down or if you feel sad, that it's okay to say it to somebody and to speak to a counsellor. And I think it's very important that we're able to express our feelings, let that be even through song, through art, and again, speaking to your friends. And sometimes your friends are probably feeling some way sad as well. And I think it's really important for young people, and even at 11, to be able to be open about their feelings. In Ireland, we have our own humanitarian crisis, and that's the living conditions that the traveller community are living in today in 21st century Ireland. Now is a time for action. Some people think I'm crazy and that things are never going to change, and some people have hope that things will change, that getting the seat is a starting point to change, you know.
15 years ago, you know, I didn't want to accept the fact that I was a member of the traveller community. I was told so much that we were such a bad people that I started to believe that we were bad people, and I think that can go for anybody that's watching the show, that, you know, if you're told that, like, when I went to school I was told I had dyslexia, and again I felt, oh, so am I silly, am I stupid because I have dyslexia? Actually no, it's just different ways of learning, and it's the same way that from a community that you're from, you do things differently, and it's quite cool to be different and be the person you are.
So I look forward in working with everybody, and hopefully we can all learn from each other, and hopefully that I'll be that person that will break down the barriers for traveller people and also for those at the end of Irish society. Thank you.
Never in the history of the state have we had anybody from the traveller community in the House of the Oireachtas, and getting the seat was that one difference. I'm hoping to bring around hate crime legislation, and if we were to have a good hate crime legislation in Ireland, well then people will have to think twice before they're nasty to individuals because of the colour of their skin, because of their ability, because of who they are.